cousins. Hope all is well. Hope you're practicing self-care. Just want to do quick housekeeping. Like, watch, comment, subscribe. If you can't do nothing else, do that for me. Appreciate each and every one of you getting in those comments, enjoying my content. Girl, what that got to do with wrestling is always available and pumping. Yes, for a small little something, because those thoughts have to be behind the paywall. I ain't got time for it. Appreciate super chats and all of that. Cousins, as usual, let's keep things going. One of the cousins wanted me to follow up on the Luke Menzies Ridge Holland saga. It's a saga now. Watching this unfold, Luke Menzies seems very naive. He seems really confused about what's going on. He's been making some missteps, supposedly, and riling people up, that he feels like he has to come back and explain himself. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You no longer work for WWE, okay? Things went awry, you made some bad decisions, and now you are trying to recover. And I think people should give this man space to do that. If you don't want to fuck with him, don't fuck with him, all right? With that being said, a GoFundMe was set up for Luke Menzies, okay? His wife has now shut the GoFundMe down. I'm sitting here like, I don't know why. Like, if people are paying, what's the big issue? I don't get it. Anyway, she said on November 7th, this is his wife. She said, "Hello, everyone. I wanted to write this update to let you know that I am the mom of the father that you all are supporting." So this is the mother, my bad, the grandma. She said, "I set this fundraiser up for the family without them knowing because I wanted to help. I also want to thank all of your support. It's very much appreciated." So the goal was $60,000. She shut it down at $10,188. I don't think she should have shut it down. If people want to donate, they should be able to donate. So grandma wrote, "Help a father of three heal without losing everything." She said, "A hardworking husband, a devoted wife, 3 children, and a devastating injury that threatens to take it all away. We're reaching out with heavy hearts on behalf of a dear family in crisis. A loving father of 3 suffered injuries whilst on the job, injuries that have not only left him unable to work, but also abandoned by the very company he served. Despite being injured at work, he was hired as a 1099 contractor, meaning he's not eligible for work compensation, sick leave, or any support from the employer. Since the injury, the company has offered to pay for medical expenses, but no pay, no new contract. The family has already endured a 55% pay cut last year, and we've done everything possible to reduce their expenses. He is now facing months of recovery, including another surgery in March of next year and potentially a next surgery this month, leaving him unable to return to work until at least April or early May if recovery goes as hoped. His wife, who's already stretched thin caring for him and their 3 young children, is doing her best, but without any nearby family or support system, it's simply not enough. Every day is a struggle mentally and physically. They would like to provide a sense of stability for their children who are watching their world slowly unravel. They're doing everything they can, but it's not enough. They are at risk of losing their home or falling into debt they may never escape, of having their kids face a holiday season filled with fear and uncertainty rather than joy. The family needs a lifeline, and they need it now. Your donation, no matter the size, will give them time and space to heal, regroup, and rebuild without losing everything they've worked hard for. Please give what you can and share this campaign with the community. Every share, every prayer, every dollar means the world to this family. Together, we can help make it through this unimaginable season and into a more hopeful future. This fundraise has been created to help this beautiful family through months ahead, to keep the roof over their heads, food on the table, pay bills, cover travel, hospital appointments, and to give chance to focus on healing without the consistent fear of financial collapse. Now, because a majority of Americans do not know how to read, Luke Menzies had to come back. Luke Menzies had to come back and I guess felt the need to explain why that GoFundMe was made and, put people at ease because everyone's riled up. And he went on to say, Thank you all for the incredible support shown through the GoFundMe campaign. However, I want to clarify that I was not aware that the page was going live and had no prior discussion with the family member who created it, which we now know was grandma, which is the mother's mother. Okay? He said, I've since requested that no further donations be accepted and change should take effect within 24 hours. Why? You need the money, bruh. The people are donating. Why do you care what the public who ain't donating have to say? He said, once we figure out how to move forward and recoup the amount donated, I'll be donating said amount to charity. Why? He said, I sincerely apologize to the page for any upset or defense. This was never my intention. Thank you for understanding. You need the money. What are you talking about? I don't even understand. The grandma did it, and she tried to help. I'm completely confused why he's going to donate money that these people donated. I know Chelsea Green donated, and she's an ongoing donor. Bobby, look, one of the internet podcasters, Bobby Monsoon, donated. It's a whole bunch of people that donated. I don't understand why you wouldn't take the money. See, this is that dumb shit that I don't get. Who are you trying to make feel good? It was confusion, and people aren't confused anymore. It was the grandma. Again, this is why I think this guy is just young and making stupid missteps. Maybe he's in his 30s. Maybe his frontal lobe isn't as mature as it needs to be. I really don't understand what everyone is confused about. A GoFundMe was made, the motherfucker said he broke. That's it. Like, what is wrong with y'all? This is where the thing with pride. First of all, I wouldn't even posted it. I'd have quietly took that 10,000 and put it up or paid whatever needed to be paid. I think that's absolutely ridiculous and stupid. So anyway, Ridge Holland, Luke Menzies went ahead and started a YouTube. He has 498 subscribers. If you're interested in his comeback and he's going to document it, that's a great place to do it at. I think his first video, he's introducing himself and what he has to offer and what he's going to offer on his YouTube, and it's a way to generate money. Look at me, I'm over here, right? I think there's some points that needs to be talked about in his YouTube that we can take away and kind of wrap this up with a bow. So, I watched Ridge Holland's video, and we just going to talk about a couple points that I got from it, and then we're going to wrap it up. First point, he regrets the whole Big E situation. He said, apparently they didn't have much practice. He said Vince McMahon was like kind of waffling on when they could practice because it was so much going on. They just touched on a couple things. It wasn't as choreographed as he would like it. They went out and did the spot, and the rest is history. I'm going to be honest with you. That would have been it for me. I knowing Big E's position and the way the fan base don't play about Big E, I probably would have been like, yo, why don't we like either make me a heel or I'm gonna just wrap it up. That Big E spot was the end for him, period. He never could get out of that situation after that Big E spot. Once we found that Big E's neck was broken or the damn near internal decapitation, it was a wrap for him. He said it shook his confidence. He was close. I wouldn't even say the man probably wanted to take himself out. He wanted to quit, but he was pushing through, trying to do the best he could, whatever. Then he said NXT, he went down there for a reset. He signed a new contract during the deadline pay-per-view and took a $200,000 pay cut. Let's just sit here. Let's sit on that. $200,000 pay cut. Now, we understand with a Google, I'm going by what Google says. According to Google, main roster talent makes anywhere from $360 to $1 million. Okay, so he was making $360,000 a year on the main roster with the Brawling Brutes, and he went down to NXT for a reset and took a $200,000 pay cut. So with that being said, he was making $160,000 a year. Okay, general numbers. $160,000 a year is nothing to sneeze at. Now I understand Jinder Mahal wanted to step out there and explain that all the things they have to do, and that's fine. People who make $36,000 a year have to do those same things, and you still get injured. Every job has a hazard. I don't give a fuck if you sitting at a desk being a reception. You still could get fucked up. I'm not really sure if that helped Luke Menzies' situation, but it didn't. He said his new rugby gimmick, okay? He wanted to push that. That was the new character gimmick that he wanted to do, because football is always talked about as characters and where they come from. Football, basketball for the most part. And so rugby is not something that he talks about. Right. So he said he wanted to do the headband on his head and the new rugby character push, which was going to be a heel turn. But I guess the writing was already on the wall. Now, Rich Holland had got a lot of different resets. He was with Chase U. He was up there with the Brawling Brutes. They brought him down to NXT. Again, Chase U. Then he was on a match with Ricky Saints. Like, he was being utilized. They were trying to do something with him, because let's not be dumb. He's a magnificent specimen. He has the build and everything. But that Big E was the hot point. It was the flashpoint in the downward spiral of his career. He went on to say he did not want to talk about his financials. He said everyone has opinions and they're like anuses and everybody stink. Luke, that probably wasn't a good idea. I understand you're tired of people telling you that you don't know how to manage money. And quiet as it's kept, no one knows how to manage money. Even your richest billionaire, trillionaire is bankrupt over 30 something times, okay? The difference is rich people could bankrupt and fuck their shit up, okay? Poor people can't, okay? Poor people can't do that. So you probably mismanaged your money, and you said it yourself. You thought this was never going to end. You thought this was going to be your job. Everybody seemed to kind of, give you help and get you where you need to be. They work with you a lot. And you thought it was, everything was sweet until it wasn't. He said the last tweet he regrets, which is where he was kind of venting and letting people know that he ain't got no money, he losing his house, whoop de whoop de whoop. The sad thing is, in this political climate, in this society where food stamps and all of the social safety nets are being ripped from under people, the last thing someone wants to hear is some dude that they just watched on TV who they think is a superstar and is making a whole lot of money talk about they're losing their mortgage. It's kind of like football. Football has like these contracts where the money isn't guaranteed in certain aspects. Y'all could correct me on that. But I know if it's not like a superstar situation, a lot of these guys get paid as they play or whatever. I know baseball has the best union and setup, and I know the NBA does really good by their players too, but football is really iffy, and a lot of those guys get injured and they get like a base pay, and it's still not enough to do nothing. Everybody that plays football isn't making millions, just like everybody that plays basketball isn't making millions. But the perception is, if you're in these high paying, high profile positions, then obviously you're making millions. And that is the perception that WWE gives off. These are superstars. They're making money. The only difference between him and someone else at a job is I'm not willfully getting slammed, nonstop. I think he wanted to live out his dreams. And he saw the opportunity to do so, and I'm not knocking him to do that, because if everybody could do their dream job and make money from it, you're going to do it. He did make a comment that when he was in NXT, he was called up probably a little too soon because he never got the chance to actually build up a character and get any realization about what was going on and what he wanted to do. And I think that's more indicative of the system and the failure of said system. That's what I think. I think this failure of said system is the reason why he couldn't get where he needed to be in terms of character work. He also stated that after that whole Big E incident, it was really difficult for him to kind of connect to the crowd and get people behind him, and that shook his confidence. And you saw it. So they put him with Sheamus and Butch, and he said he didn't want to pull Butch down because that guy already did NXT for a significant amount of time. It was booked like a beast. And Sheamus, they were more of a vehicle for Sheamus because he's the more established, loved wrestler. So they thought Sheamus could give them a rub. I actually thought the Brawling Brutes was cool. I don't know why they were so quick to get rid of them, but, it is what it is, because now Butch is one half of the Los Americanos troupe. And so, it's a fascinating thing. So it's like overall, I don't know. I think this is a terrible situation to be in, especially doing it in public. I think there's blame to go around. I blame WWE for their 1099 contract bullshit. I blame fucking Hulk Hogan for intercepting the opportunity to have a union. Yup. I blame the failure of the NXT system for not giving some of these talents a chance to actually hone their skills. Everybody don't got it. And I think I will give it to Rich. He was working hard until that awful mishap. Okay. I blame the internet wrestling community for not letting him forget it. And I include myself because I always said it. No one's fucking with you because you cracked Big E open. Okay? But this is a lesson. The last time I said it. Luke Menzies and all of the Luke Menzies of the world, let this be a fucking lesson to you. The next time you are in a structured work environment, realize you are a product, a number, and nothing more. Yes, they'll call you family. Yes, they'll give you pizza parties. Yeah, they'll throw you 50 cents here and there. But when the shit hits the fan, these people are about making their money. You are a resource and nothing more. And I think he is learning that now. You lashing out, WWE turned right around and said, oh, word. And they said, we're going to make it even harder for your ass. Now you got to get your neck fused. There's a possibility you won't be able to wrestle no more with that. So it's a lot of stuff going on. Now, I want to touch on a quick update about this GoFundMe. So there's a guy, I know he does a lot of work with Stevie Richards. His name is James Romero. Now, I'm not really sure what his issue is with the GoFundMe. So again, I went over there and I already talked about it and I read what it was. And the mom of the wife's mom claims she made the GoFundMe. Okay. And now this guy is speculating that somehow there's something nefarious going on and stuff like that. So now Rich claims, Luke Menzies claims he did not know. The grandma wanted to do something on her end, and that's very plausible. I don't know why this man is donating to appease these motherfuckers who didn't donate and don't plan on to. You said you need the money. Now, this guy is saying, oh, well, you should go ahead and donate it. Donate it to who? He needs the money. Let the man keep the goddamn money. How hateful can you all be? I mean, goddamn, what you want him to do? What you want him to do? He fucked up. He don't want to talk about his financial decisions. Cool. He don't want to talk about none of that. He don't have to. We gonna sit here and speculate. You fucked up, buh. You know what I mean? You got kids. You got the woman knocked up. You thought you was going to have a whole family and do all kinds of things with it, and that's fine. That's not how it panned out. It is what it is. But when you asking people for money, they gonna want to know what the fuck you're doing. And that's just what it is. They gonna want to know what you doing with the money. So you don't have the right or the space to tell people that everyone has a opinion and asses stinking. You don't have the space when you're in the position to need help from the public. So Luke, I implore you, do better. Put the GoFundMe up. I get it. Go ahead. You got the YouTube. You can make money off of that. After you get 1,000 subscribers and you post consistently, you can make money off of that. Show us your personality. A lot of YouTubers I do not watch. They're not fun. They don't have no personality. It takes a skill to hold someone's attention longer than 5 minutes. Okay? Even I can sit up here, and I done told y'all, if I ever get to a point where you like, this bitch is yapping and I don't want to hear it, you better tell me so I can make adjustments. Because I shouldn't have to sit up here acting like a complete goofball just to hold your attention. Okay? Because we're all grown. So this is it. I don't know, unless something else develops in the Luke Menzies saga, there's really nothing else to talk about. But I think people are really kicking this dude in the balls. And he sounds sincere. He sounds like he's trying to figure things out. And it's just really difficult. And I hope the holidays are coming. The new year ain't going to do nothing but get even harder, y'all. It's about to be wintertime. This is the season of depression for a lot of people. This is the season of, a lot of stuff. And I just feel like as much as I talk shit and keep a boot on people's neck, I would hate for anybody to have to be in a position where they don't know where their next meal is coming from. I've experienced it. I have clients who's experiencing this right now as we speak. So he's not in a class by himself, and he needs to realize that. I'm going to leave it right there. Y'all go ahead and get in the comments. Tell me what you think.